what would we like to see from the Lions, man? you know, this week, man, I was doing some journaling, man.
Okay.
I'm studying about patience. You know what I'm saying? I want to be more patient. None of us is getting any more patient with age.
Yeah, I
So,
definitely could always use more of that.
yeah, man. So, and when I was studying patience, man, I started studying the mind, right?
Okay.
And the mind really has three different functions, right? To remember, to imagine, and to focus.
Okay.
And I say that to say that as much as I love Dan Campbell, I question his ability to do all three at
I was about
times.
to say, is 2 out of 3 bad in this
Right. Yeah.
scenario?
I question his ability to remember what happened to us before, to focus on what's happening, and to imagine where we want to be in the
Right.
future.
Right.
I remember when Jim Schwartz, I think he was having, maybe it was one of his opening interviews, opening press conferences, and somebody asked him a question. And his response was, I wish we could win 10 Super Bowls. I'm paraphrasing, right? And I'm like, I don't think he's gonna work out as a coach because wishing is for fans.
Right.
I can wish, you can wish. I buy tickets to the game. We watch the game on TV. We discuss the game. You need to be making a plan. You need to
Right.
be imagining where the team is going to be, making a plan, foreseeing, creating a vision,
Right.
deciding how we going to use
Culture.
personnel. Exactly. Yeah. Creating a culture. Wishing is for fans. Wishing is for what you do when you get a Powerball ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you do an easy pick on the numbers. I'm like, if you wishing, then that's not going to work out very well. So I say all that to say, man,
It didn't.
no, it did not.
You were right.
I was right. But and that made me think about something that my man, one of my good friends, Steve. Steve did some freelance sports writing, covering the Golden State Warriors
Okay.
a few years back, and I harken back to something he said when we first hired Dan Campbell. I was not overly excited, by the way. I'll admit
I remember.
that. And he said Dan Campbell is not the guy. Dan Campbell is the guy before the guy. And I harken back to that this week, because I think about guys like Tony Dungy, and that,
Mhm.
because you can have great coaches that are in that position that are the guy before the guy, right? Like Tony Dungy was the guy before they hired John Gruden and actually end up getting over the hump. Andy Reid was the guy before the guy, right?
Right.
Because they end up hiring Doug Peterson and they end up winning the Super Bowl and getting over the hump.